Hey guys, welcome back to all of you crazy legends. Welcome to a new video on my channel. Today we have probably one of the best players of air spam strategies in this game currently. And of course there's only one guy that is best at spray and pray, so let's go check out his hits. Alright, for this first hit by spray we have this one on a... again, not really sure what sort of base to call this. I'd say it's a diamond base, but that's probably wrong. At least it is a base with an off-centered town hall. But what I've learned from quickly just talking to a few guys is that for spray it is generally a matter of just setting up great pathing for his dragons. And one thing that became clear to me as well is that the main heat of this base, so to say, the main focus of defenses is towards the bottom, with a few more high value defenses you want to take out early on near the bottom rather than near the top. So I assume that he's going to be starting from there. Let's see what he does and what he can get into. Maybe starting with the siege barracks and a baby dragon setting one part of the funnel queen on the other side for the other part of the funnel. Baby drag on the bottom as well. Of course, the main focus for this attack is going to be setting up great pathing for the dragons. You can see that the dragon juke is used there as well. No king on this attack. We have the dragon juke coming in on one of the higher value defenses on this bottom side. And again, of course, the heat of this base, as I like to call it, is definitely centered towards the bottom. So in this case, it's very logical to see that he's going to be starting from there. We have dragon riders in as well. In the meantime, the siege barracks has been pulped. So we got the super minions that we also tend to see with air attacks, because of course you don't want to draw an unfortunate CC if it's only ground targeting. So yeah, with the dragon juke in there, the dragons, dragon riders, everything just being very, very strong. Nice overgrowth, keeping those two air defenses at the far side here at bay. So, could have probably swagged it, but still, of course, it's a nice touch, because now we see the dragons splitting up a touch more than we saw in the beginning. So it is nice to have just a little bit of fire taken away from those dragons, or at least having them only use their own fire, not enemy fire. And now we can just have them all collapse in on those final few buildings of this base. So X2 freezes and clears up the final 3 buildings of this base. Very, very nice. On this second hit done by spray, we can see right away that we have the queen making a return, and as I thought, that can only mean one thing. We can see some giant arrow action. And I'm not going to say too much before we just dive into this hit. I do see that the sweepers are lined up in such a way that they can potentially be taken out by one giant arrow. In this case, I'd say coming in from the top side is going to be favorable, but I see that he has decided against that. We have the siege barracks on the bottom side actually. And I guess doing a little heat analysis with the revenge tower, the multi-gear tower, and the CC, as well as the the fire spitters. Jesus, I still can't say defense names. On the bottom, it does make sense, and we did indeed see the giant arrow. But again, I was thrown for a little curveball, because the dragons are going to be coming in from the top side, as I initially said. It's like I'm watching these hits for the first time, but I'm actually not, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, just easy tunnel X's. Dragon juke stunning up those defenses on the side. Queen getting some pathing set. But yeah, we did manage to take out the revenge tower on the bottom side with that siege barrack, so that is pretty nice. And of course it wasn't really smart to come in from the bottom side, because you would have been coming into 2 fire spitters at the same time. So I'm not sure why I even mentioned it, to be honest. It's inexperienced. But let's see, we have the dragons just collapsing in on those final defenses here on the base. We have spells of plenty to make sure that we can distract everything and anything that needs to be distracted. Of course, that those fiery breathing dragons gonna be taking out every little building on this base. And that's going to be a very overpowering triple from Spray once again. Of course, it's a little unnecessary, but I'm still going to mention it. Any of the hits that I do record are going to be hits of triple attacks. So just wanted to mention that. And for the third hit that we're going to show from Spray, we have this more box-like base again. And one of the things that made this one stand out for me is the fact that we see 11 Dragon Riders. Looks like Mass Dragon Riders is again a more viable strategy. Of course, we had that at like Tunnel 14, 15 days as well for a little bit. And that seems to have made a little bit of a return when done by the red player. But again, not going to say too much. Let's just dive into it. I'm going to be starting off with the Flame Flinger. Reminds me of the Fireball Rocket Loon explanation that I did in an earlier video. I'm going to be looking for great value from the Fireball. No, from the Flame Flinger. Fireball's not on this hit. It was a Giant Arrow from the Queen that we see for 2 air defenses. And one of the other things that made me choose this hit, the fact that of course dragons, they are rumored to be very strong, but yeah, we can see now that the Dragon Duke is going to be coming in. Normally speaking, of course, we do see him come in on his own, but never for actually like a Sui. He always comes in a supporting way. But now he's even going to get all the way to the Town Hall pretty much. I'm going to get distracted a little bit. But it looks like we are going to be... We should be able to get that Town Hall with the Dragon Duke. Well, there's a lot of DPS on there actually. Ability goes off. Going to be targeting the enemy Guardian. Meantime, we see a Dragon Rider come in for the right side. Super Whiz Tower. Should be able to snipe it. We'll snipe it indeed. And now the Dragon Rider is coming in onto that Monolith, being distracted by the Skelly spell. You can see we get a CC pool. And a nice Warden ability, going to be able to protect everything that was still alive. Nice distractions as well. And we see the Dragon Duke actually being revived. Now that a lot of that fire and DPS on him is gone. And indeed, in the end, with a little bit of time in between, a little bit of delay, he is going to be able to Sui out the Town Hall. And even continue onto the far side Fire Spitter. Now the Minion Prince ability is going to slow down the scatter shot enough for the Dragon Duke to be able to take it out. As you can see, this base has been slaughtered as well by the Spray and Pray specialist that Spray is. And of course, when I say Spray and Pray, that is meant as a little bit of a nice alliteration and a nice little fun way of saying it. I am in no way, shape or form trying to like make this attack seem less powerful or less well done than it actually is. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up this video as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like below. And as always, if you really enjoyed it, a sub would help out massively. But of course, I'm not going to be forcing you guys to do anything. And if you have a nice suggestion or a question for a next video as well, make sure to leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.